Hi, guys. Thank you for joining me today. I love y'all here. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Oh, we got a lot to go over today. I got some big news, and I mean big news. So I was actually shocked. I'm still in shock. I'm probably going to be in shock until it's over with. I've got, we'll go over the list. I've got a lot to do when I tell you what it is, but I'm going to kind of save it towards the end um, so that we can do a few other things. So what's going on with the business is usually how I start. We're going to put that all the way to the end so that I can unveil the big news. What I'm reading. I'm still working on The Artist Way. I finished book number 3 in the series I was reading. I got 3 more to go. The next one's a Christmas book. So I'm kind of holding off on that a little bit. And I've got some marketing books that are sitting around that I need to be reading that I haven't even started yet. Because all my time is going to be spent doing this, getting ready for this surprise I'm going to tell you about. That is, I mean, I'm so thankful the fact that I am not working right now, other than for myself. So I got time to get this stuff done, and it's going to be a biggie. Got a lot to do, and like I said, I got to read. I'll read a whole list for you. Okay, cool stuff. The news is really the cool stuff, and we're getting to it quicker than I expected. And then flashback, and I really don't have anything for flashback. You'll notice 2 of the quilts that are patterns offered here. This one is Happy Halloween, and then this one it's Fall Y'all. And then behind me are some of my personal quilts. This is the only Bargello I've ever done. This is the only log cabin I've ever done. Both of these were gifts to people who, as they moved around and got older and whatnot, they wanted to give them back to me. So they gave them back to me. So I'm very proud to have these, knowing that they were, they're my wayward children. They finally come home to me. Which begs me to ask the question, what do y'all do with all your quilts? I mean, I've got a stack over the door where I put up a shelf. I've got this new display here on the left. I've got 2 of these ladders. Each one of them has 4 quilts on it, and they're packed, and the other one is in the other corner because we're right here at a corner. So what do y'all do? Let me know. I really want to know. What do y'all do with your quilts other than fold them up, stack them up, and get them, So I guess that's what I'll be doing as I make more, because I've got a bag of 8, 7, 6. Somewhere between 6 and 9 tops and backs. It should be 7 quilts. There's 7 quilts in that because I did the backs as when you put the backs together, it blends into the rainbow. So like the first back is red and orange. The next one's orange and yellow. The next one's yellow and green. The next one's green and blue. The next one's, and all through the color spectrum until we get to the end, which is purple and red. And of course, red will cycle back around to the beginning again. So I want to. I did that for 2 reasons. I thought it'd be really cool. Second, it's going to help me remember the sequence in the 6 quilts I made. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen these 6 quilts. These are the ones I was doing probably more than a year ago now. I cut some. I just randomly went into my stash and pulled out fabric and started cutting, rectangles, and squares, and rectangles and squares. And with a little bit of tweaking, I actually cut out enough stuff for 7 quilts. That's a bit excessive, but evidently I was cutting and having fun. Let's see here. Flashback. We're still on flashback, I guess. And I have absolutely no idea. I have nothing for flashback because we're going to spend most of the time talking about this big news. So, the big news is, hey, there we go. They all went to the other side, but there were giant leaves. I cut 103 of these things. I got accepted to go into this year's quilt market. Evidently because of COVID-19. Oh, that's nice. Most of them stayed together. Evidently because of COVID-19, they are running short of, these are the 103. because of COVID, I think they're running short on vendors because the woman I spoke with, Rose, excuse me, I'm picking up the mess on the floor. Um, I wrote, I love the universe. The universe wanted me to do this. The universe has been telling me to do this all along. And every time I start getting a little shaky about things, it sends me a message that says, hey, everything's going to be okay. You're going to be fine. This is what you're supposed to be doing. So this is how it kind of unfolded. I was curious about the fees and everything else that was, involved with doing Quilt Market and, of course, Festival. So I wrote her, and she wrote me back, and I saw it on my phone, and when I went to my laptop to bring it up, it disappeared. I searched for it in all kinds of folders. I searched for it everywhere. It wasn't there. So a few days later, I write Rose back. This is Rose at quilts.com or Quilts Inc. I can't remember which one it is. But they're the ones who run the shows, especially the one in Houston, the biggest quilt. We'll get into that in a second here. So I wrote her, like I said, I wrote her back, and she wrote me back. And I told her, I said, I lost your email. I'm not sure where it went to. If you remember me, I've been in business for less than a year, and blah 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 blah. And she wrote me back, and she was like, "Given your, how did she put it? I'm going to take a chance on you, and because of your determination and interest, and evidently she went and looked at my quilts, and the fact that your stuff is so." I wish I had the worded verbiage that she did. Is so geared towards their shows that yes, we're going to let you in. Please go fill out the application, everything else as quickly as possible. So, like I said, I was just completely blown away. It took me a couple of days to kind of sit there and go, do I really want to do this? Can I do this? Do I have enough time to do this? And it came down to fear. And a few months ago, I decided I'm not letting fear stop me doing anything anymore. That's no longer a viable excuse. And I can't remember if it was a New Year's resolution or not. But like I said, it's not, fear is no longer a reason to stop myself from doing anything anymore. So that was the only reason I could find for not doing it. So I'm doing it. I filled out all the information and gave it to her yesterday. She's supposed to be sending me an invoice, so I will find out what booth I'm in, and of course I'll pass all that information along to you as I do it. I'm kind of in wait and I'm figuring things out, and I'm planning and everything else, but I'm not making or purchasing anything until I've paid for that space and I know it's mine and there's no glitches, no hangups, no nothing. Because I don't want to have to try to return stuff, and most of the stuff I was getting was on Amazon anyway. So, isn't that great news? I'm shocked, I'm proud, I'm scared, I'm anxious. I keep having visions of standing there holding my little postcard that I did up, and we got to tell you about these two, and handing them and going, just doing this all day long, and nobody takes them. Nobody looks at my quilts. Nobody looks at my booth. Nobody makes a purchase. Nobody nothing. Speaking of purchases, the website still has not sold anything. I did send out this beautiful postcard. That was the front, and there's the back, and of course this one already still has a sticker on it. But I sent these beautiful postcards out to all the quilt shops, like I told you in one of the other blogs, and all the adjoining states around Georgia, including Georgia. I got one phone call one email from a shop owner who wanted to know when Go Santa Go was going to be available. And I wrote her back and said, can you tell me how you found my website, and is this a wholesale or a retail purchase? And she's like, well, you sent me a card and it's going to be a wholesale purchase. And I'm like, okay. So evidently she was only interested in Go Santa Go, and I've sat down and got all my information for Go Santa Go ready. I sent the stuff to the graphic designer. Evidently he's misplaced it because I've got to send it again. And I've already written out the instructions, sent them to my fabulous editor, Molly. God bless you, Molly. Can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me. I've had some incredible, I mean, it's like everything is lined up for me to do this business. You know, a graphic designer fell into my lap. Web help fell into my lap. A editor fell into my lap. I wish I had more quilt pattern testers, and I wish I had somebody that I could trust to quilt my quilts, because I don't want an all over stitch. I want detail. I want custom. I want interesting. I want cool. And of course, if I can find that person, they will be featured heavily on my website. And every chance I get, I will say their name, and they will be also, there'll be tags on all the quilts in the booths. If they quilt a quilt, it says quilted by, and your contact information. You know, so if there's anybody out there who would like to quilt 9 quilts custom, let me know. We can work out a deal as far as payment and everything else. But I would really, really appreciate that, and that would help tremendously, because you won't believe the list of stuff I've got to try to do. Excuse me, my mouth is getting dry from all this talking. As I'm talking to you, how did that happen? More leaves. So, like I said, we sent out the postcard. There was $124 in postage. Plus, I think I spent close to $100 on 1,000 of these things. And to get one phone call and Epsi no orders is kind of discouraging. So, but we're going to keep going. Hopefully, Quilt Market is going to be the tipping point, and things will get better from there on. Market is the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. I believe it's somewhere around those dates, but it's the Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And Monday's only till 3 o'clock, and then we start breaking down everything else. I have my wonderful friend Margaret coming from Boise, Idaho. She and I were in a quilt guild together when I lived in Texas, and that's how I'm so familiar with the market as well as the festival. I've been to the festival. I can't tell you how many times I've never been to market. I've always wanted to go. I just didn't realize that the time I got to go, I was going to be an exhibitor. So that's a nice surprise. So let's go through some things. We'll try to move forward instead of me just constantly blabbing. So patterns are starting to get printed and get them out, and you can see how beautiful the cover is. This is my graphic designer, and this is this quilt right here that he did. And so it's in the standard size that you see most patterns come in, because it's fairly thin. There's not a lot of pattern pieces to it. It's just really all the leaves and the instructions. However, we do have full-size patterns as well for what will be 2 of the patterns. Go Santa Go will be a full-size pattern too. I think it'll probably measure by 3 feet by 4 feet to be a full-size pattern, and this one is 3 feet by 6 feet and folded up, and you can see it's quite thick, quite heavy, and that's why we did it so large, is you've got a full-size pattern folded up in there. So those are ready to go. I can print these off fairly easily and quickly, so don't be afraid to order. I have supplies, I have merchandise, I can print on demand. Okay, so we're on to that. Back to the show. I had a list of things to buy and purchase and ideas for decorating and everything else, and then under that I put, where I was getting everything. I've sourced over $1,000 worth. It's going to cost me more to display my quilts than it will to get into the show. If you're curious, entrance fee for a 10 by 10 booth was $1,313, so it was $1,313. But like I said, it's it costs money to operate a business. It takes money to make money. God, am I finding that out. Okay, so I don't know how well you can actually see this, but it's basically a little plan of my 10 by 10 booth, so I can kind of keep track of what's going on and where things are going and how things are being displayed, and of course in what order. Now my graphic designer has pretty much set the order for me whenever I do anything, because if you will notice on the card, we've got February, Easter, which is April. Then we have summer, which is May and June and July. Then we're into fall with September, and then we got fall, Halloween in October. Snow starts in October and November, and then we're into Christmas. So he laid these out in order of the individual holidays, which these are all holiday themes. So that's exactly the same way I'm going to put them up in the booth. I will start. We'll start with the shortest side. Actually, I'm going to be sitting here. I got 2 foot of space here to put up to the chair, and I've got to order a chair. For doing that, I'm actually going to get a director's chair, so I'm up high. So I'm actually, if I need to sit down, because I have bad feet, if I need to sit down, I can sit down. I can still talk to people at their level. I'm not going to have to look up at them, and they're not going to have to look down at me. I'll actually still be at their level. So we're going to start here with that, and then we'll do the Valentine's, Easter, summer, and 4th of July wound up right in the middle. Then we come on around, and this is the I'm displaying everything with themes and accessories. The flooring will be gray spun or gray foam mat that's clicked together. The table covers will be all in black. I keep forgetting where the lens is. The table covers will be all in black, and then this will be sitting on it, so it should be very nice and very classic. So I'm going to create an oversized candy box, put candy papers in them, rolls of brown felt and little hearts and maybe some little dots or something on them, and make a candy box. This is all for the Valentine stuff. Then there'll also be a bouquet of flowers all wrapped up and tied with a bow, and everything's going to be made of fabric in some form, fabric, felt, whatever. So these flowers are all going to be done. I've already got the pattern printed out. I'm ready to go with those. And then in front of conversational hearts, I'm actually doing, I did bring a sample of it. I actually drafted out the box and then blew it up to the size I needed for a template, because I'm going to make an actual box that is the conversational heart box just blown up with a piece of acrylic in the window, and then big felt hearts will be inside of it. And it's nice. The heart's only about 14 inches wide by 16 inches wide, so I don't have to make a lot of hearts to fill that hole, because I am going to block it off on the inside, so it with acrylic, and then put lights all around it so the lights also shine through into it. I realize that I've got to have lights in the booth to add sparkle and interest and contrast to hopefully help draw people in. And then of course the patterns will be in boxes sitting in front of both of those. Next, I'm going to have an Easter tree. I've already got a lot of Easter decorations that are absolutely adorable. If you go to my Instagram account, that's Soaring Heart Studio on Instagram, and you go back to, I think 2 years ago or last year, I did a small tree and it was covered in Easter ornaments. It was absolutely adorable. So I found an absolutely beautiful lighted tree that's made of metal that I would like to use, but I've got to find out how it breaks down in stores, because all this has got to be stored once I get back. And then in the corner is going to be a giant Easter basket. I was just getting ready to throw away or give away a giant basket, and I spray painted it white. It's going to have pastel clear eggs in it, and it will be stuffed with my fabric in a grass bed of shredded paper. And then behind that, or somewhere around all that, will also be, I'm going to do some peeps that are probably 16 or 18 inches tall out of felt. And the peeps will be sitting around as well. Let's see here. And then we turn the corner, and we're getting along the back wall. And I'm going to do kind of like a pile of sand, but it's all going to be fabric. Actually, this would be a really great sand color. I can see if I have any more of this. And then a pail and a pitcher and a beach ball. And of course, I'm having to buy like 12 beach balls. So guess we're going to be giving away beach balls at the show. And then, that'll be like a little area in front of the summer one, which is the Sunflower Summers. And then the 4th of July will be next. And in front of the 4th of July, there's going to be a grill with a felt steak sitting on top of it. Inside will be felt briquettes. And I'm going to put twinkle lights, red twinkle lights in there to kind of give a fiery glow. And then there'll be a picnic basket, of course. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in the picnic basket. I don't have that quite figured out. And then there's going to be the whole little area will be covered in plastic 1-inch, 1.5-inch ants, which I think will be fun. We're over to the corner where there's going to be a giant cornucopia. So I've got to make fabric gourds. The leaves that you saw will be included with that. The leaves are also going to be attached between the quilts or near the quilts, and they're going to be cascading down and just kind of thrown around, stuck in that, and kind of thrown throughout the fall area that can just lay on the table. And then, of course, pumpkins and gourds, and I might do some bearded wheat in with that arrangement. We'll see how it comes together. Then we come around and we're at Christmas. And Christmas is where I'm kind of stuck. I sat down with my roommate and best friend who comes up with these most brilliant ideas off the top of his head. And it's like, I don't know where they come from. He was the one who came up with my business card that we had a choice of thin, glossy, matte, felted, thick, so on and so forth. So we went, I told him, I said, I don't know what to do. I don't know what choices, of those choices, I don't know what combinations. And without blinking an eye, he stopped and went, thick, felted, so it feels like fabric. Making a business card feel like fabric for a quilting industry? Brilliant. My mind was blown. So like I said, we were talking about everything, and everything kind of fell into place for me. And then we got to Christmas, and he goes, Christmas is easy. And I'm stuck. I don't know if I want to do a Christmas tree. A couple of the quilts are going to have to lay on the table. This one's going to lay on the table. Let It Snow is also going to lay on the table because I don't have enough room to hang every single quilt around and show them properly. And then, I am going to order this giant angel that I've been eyeballing forever. She's about 4 feet tall. She's a garden angel, so the bottom part is kind of cage-like for plants to grow up through. But she's at the top and she's holding a heart, and I thought she was so pretty, and this is an excuse for the company to buy her and me to keep her. And then, of course, patterns sit in front of everything. I'm doing a big double-sided sign that'll sit out front that says, let your creativity soar. Soaring Heart Studio, a giant heart and wings, my logo. And then under that will be Let Your Creativity Soar, and that's going to sit out front and try to catch your eye. Black background, fabric stretch sign, double-sided. I'm not spending, I'm sparing no expense to make this look as professional, inviting, engaging, interesting, everything as possible, gives me people into the booth as possible and hopefully buy my quilts. But like I said, I keep having fears that, they're really ugly and disgusting, and I'm just really fooling myself. So, we're still talking about the show. So, besides having to make up all those displays, and I'm also planning on taking every display, setting it up completely, doing everything to it, photographing it, putting everything in a tote. Hopefully it'll all fit in one tote, because I've got to put this in my little compact Honda Fit and get it to Texas. I don't want to have to rent a van, but if I got to do it, I got to do it. So I've got to make all that stuff for the show, which, I mean, here's the list. I've got to make a candy box. I've got to make flowers and a bouquet and leaves. I've got to make the conversational heart box, which at least the pattern's done. Easter's pretty much done. The eggs are pretty much done. I've got to dye a ton of fabric. I've got to start putting together maybe some kits to show what a kit would look like if I did a kit. I've got to make the giant peeps. I'm making 103 leaves that are actually going to be two-sided, have, I don't even know what the product is. It's in the middle. It's kind of a rigid foam, but it holds up well under heat. A very dear friend gave it to me before she passed away, and said she'd never use it. I've been holding on to it forever. It's actually kind of yellowed, but I think this is going to be perfect because it adds some body and some strength to it. And we're running long today. I apologize. Got a lot to tell you. So like I said, making flowers. The basket I spray painted yesterday. Sand, pale beach. A lot of it's kind of buying. The picnic basket, if I got to make something, I've got to decide what's going in it. For the grill, I've got to make the steak. I've got to make a ton of pumpkins, a ton of gourds. Ooh, I sent off for to Lyric Kennard, and shout out to Lyric, love Lyric. I found an image of corn. I sent it. I made it as black and white as I possibly could, put a little bit of gray in it, which she said don't do, but I want a little more grungy look to it. I don't want it perfect. So I can screen print my own corn, and then I've got to sew and make a bunch of corn. Corn, pumpkins, gourds all have to be made. And then, like I said, I'm not even fully sure what I'm doing for Christmas. Other than a big box of presents, maybe wrapped in my tie-dye, in my batik fabrics, I don't know. Like I said, Christmas is the one I'm kind of blocked on right there. And of course, you know, I got to buy everything. So like I said, that's a lot of things to make. And then on top of that, I wanted to show, you know, this is what you can do with the parts or the components of the quilts. I mean, like first off, I'm taking the leaves, and isn't that beautiful fabric? Um, some of these fabrics are just gorgeous, and these are actually fabrics I've dyed. And if you want to learn how to do it yourself, you can go to tutorials and see how to dye fabric. It's really easy. I mean, it's really easy. But like I said, in addition to the quilts and all the things that I have to make, I was also thinking I could make Christmas stockings using the pattern, which would be the snowflakes from Let It Snow. Let me look at the thing here. The snowflakes from Let It Snow would make a great one. Santa Claus, a series of stockings that's Santa and then reindeer, reindeer, reindeer to hang them out in a row would be really, really cute. So Christmas stockings was one of my ideas. Also, tree skirts. You can, you know, do a blue tree skirt with the snowflakes on it. You know, I mean, you really could kind of do Santa Moon on a tree skirt and cut him out, so when you see it, you actually see him laying, you know, laying in the curve of the tree skirt, because the tree skirt would be rounded. Of course, you know, go Santa go, please. Blue stars, Santa going just around the border on the edge. Fabulous idea. But like I said, these are things I'd also like to make for the show that may or may not happen. Long Santa reindeer pillow. Do Santa and the reindeers on a really long pillow. Let's see here. Halloween trick or treat bag. I can take any one of the Halloween components. You know, matter of fact, behind us, I could do the corn, or the spider web that you can't see that's just above there. The big spiders. You know, we could stitch those and do those on a fabric basket for Halloween. Even the letters of Happy Halloween, which I notice are coming off. Lovely. Fuse is one of those things that I'm more afraid of burning or over fusing, so that the material absorbs into the fabric when it gets hot, and so I have a tendency to kind of under, and I don't stitch on top of some of the patterns and designs. This is lettering I did not stitch on top of it. Looks like maybe I should have, but note to self, bring an iron to market. Okay, going through the list of things I'd like to make, but don't think I'll have time for. But these are definitely ideas. Door banners. I mean, you know, take Go Bunny, Bunnies in the Butter. And let's see if I can do this. Take just one panel, just 3 of the blocks, right there, and make a single banner that hangs down the door. You could do that with almost anything. One that's just nothing but snowflakes. I've always wanted to take the skeleton and lay him down sideways and do him horizontally, which could be another fun pillow. Geez, I may have to make that one. I don't have that on my list. Any one of the cutouts in the Happy Halloween could be done on pillows. I did a fall tree, so you could take it and redo it as a tree skirt for a fall tree. Of course, I did a fall tree skirt, and I used the leaves and the patterns. Matter of fact, that was the test pattern for this background quilting, which is all the leaves. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's actually the leaves that are used in there, but laid out individually so that you can see them. And I absolutely love that quilting. These are the 3 quilts that I actually have quilted, which you can't see up there, is on the very top. Actually, we can just do this real quick. On the very top, there we go. There's Happy Halloween. This is Happy Halloween Skeleton. And the names all kind of changed. That name changed quite a bit during manufacturing. Sorry about the hand. Let's see here. Bunny banner. Use the flowers. I've used the flowers for lots of things. I'm probably going to have to bring them to market to show. But the flowers that are in the Easter one, I mean, I think there's 5 different flowers in that. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, there's only 4 flowers in that, and 2 of them are mirrored. So it's really only four flowers in that huge arrangement. Let's see if I can get it. Here we go. See, that's just repeated quite a few times. So, you also got to look at summer. I thought it might be fun to take one of those sunflowers and make a pillow. I'm also taking the logo and making pillows of the logo. That fabric should be here probably in a few days. I think it's already shipped. Shout out to Spoonflower for printing that fabric for me. The cow, something country. I kind of drew a blank on it. I guess you could put them on the bottom of a hand towel or a pillow. I mean, you can put anything on a pillow. That's about all I could think of. Sunflower pillow, of course, taking, like I said, we already said that one, sunflower. And then I've got a note on here to myself that I want to hang signs with the pattern covers in them in front of each quilt, as well as having the patterns down. Redundancy, redundancy, redundancy. I think I'm also going to, under that sign, maybe from that sign, we'll hang a nice thing of says, hey, other ideas. This is also what you can do with these patterns. So like I said, I've got lots to do and almost no time to do it in. Taking off a weekend in August. We're going up to the mountains for a couple of days. And then we got a couple little Saturday things. And of course, today I was busy cutting out leaves. I started it yesterday. It's 5 o'clock. I still have to go to the grocery store. Luckily, my roommate doesn't get off work until 7:30. So I've got plenty of time to go to the store, get something to eat, come back and have dinner ready when he gets home. And I really don't like to eat that late, but we do what we have to do. So I think that covers most everything. Remember to send your friends to my website, that's soaringheartstudio.net, to get a pattern for a free mug rug. And these are all the little mug rugs. These are the patterns that you can get. And I did not intentionally do it, but I actually wound up doing seasons. So, of course, Keep Calm and So On, I think, is just hilarious. And this file consists of just this graphic that you can print out on fabric. And actually, you just take your fusible web, attach it to your fabric, and put it through your inkjet printer. I don't think it'll work on laser, and I'm not about to try it. But I know on inkjet it works just fine. I've done it quite a few times. So you can do it on any kind of fabric that you want, any color, any style, any pattern. And then I just did some funky stitching on this, as you can see. Just did some graphic stitching. Like I said, we did this as seasons. And if you look through it, we've got spring, Christmas, fall, summer, and summer. I've actually got 2 summer ones. So, and I'll give you a good little close up of these so you can kind of get a feel of what they look like. And I love this little stitching technique. I kind of developed that myself. And it's just going over it and over it and over it. I tried it in black. I didn't care for it in black. What did I do here? I did a variegated green tan on this one. And I just think it's fun. And then, of course, I love doing, little thread stitchings like the vines and things like that. And, of course, the little stitching on the leaves. And then we did, this one's fun. It's a lot of little holiday leaves and some berries and a nice little wreath. A little bit of dimension. Of course, I just did some stitching on it. The same little pattern we were talking about. You can see that over the band there. And of course, I just went through and stitched, kind of like stems and whatnot on the holly leaves. And then last and least is Easter and Easter Bunny. And you can see these were all stitched. Actually, these were stitched with fluorescent fabric or fluorescent thread, fluorescent yellow and fluorescent orange. And then I don't know that you can see it. Oh, there you can. It's catching the light just right. I went and actually stitched his, there we go. I stitched his little body parts and where his eye would be and his ears and everything else. So those are quite fun. And of course, this is a pillowcase turn, and there's a tutorial on how to do that. Okay, we're winding down now, folks. It's almost over with. The pain is almost over with. So there's no affiliates on my website at this time. I'm not saying that'll change in the future. I don't know. But as currently, I have no affiliates. And of course, if I did, I would not be promoting anything to y'all that I did not use and love. Let's see here. Please share with your quilting friends. Yes, soaringheart.net needs your love and attention and help getting people to my website, signing up for free mug rugs, possibly buying some patterns, or even original artwork. I've got original artwork in there, and I'm going to be adding to that because I just found some more stuff that I'd done that I went, oh God, I could do this too. And of course, I do not sell your private information. I will never sell your name, email address, or any other information that you give me. That is strictly, that's just between us friends. I don't get anybody else. Like I said, if you want to write to me, it's soaringheartstudio@yahoo.com. Yes, .com. And then, of course, the website is soaringheart.net. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, give me feedback. Let me know what's going on in your life. What's going on. Let's start talking. And I would, we're going to be releasing these on Thursdays because I did a little bit of research and I found out that Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday are the better days for releasing these. Mondays, people are overwhelmed by the amount of emails in their inbox from the weekend. And Friday, people are like, oh, screw it. I just want to go home. I don't want to, let's just get rid of this stuff so it's not here. So Thursdays are going to be release days. So I think that's it. I can't thank you all enough for being a part of my world, for going to my website, for watching my videos. And I hope to see anyone who has the credentials to please come to market and stop by my booth and say hello and get a hug. I'm a big hugger. Oh, one of the other things I've done, talking about booth stuff, I did send off, I have samples of a polo coming with the logo stitched on it and t-shirts for my coworker with the giant logo on it, as well as a 4-foot logo banner, which I didn't leave room for when I did the layout of the, screw it. It looks great. It'll go up somewhere. I get to use it at some point, sometime, some way. Paid for that. Didn't need to. Oh, well. Let's see. So yeah, and a hat. I had started to, with all this, I need to protect myself from the sun, and why not go ahead and promote myself at the same time? So, sorry I got back off on another course. We will say goodbye finally this time. I can't thank you all enough for being here. Y'all are absolutely awesome. So remember to keep calm and sew on.